Well, thank you for joining me, viewers. Nice and early this morning. I've made a little bay up for the dog. He only comes of an afternoon. Have you ever felt like you've been in a relationship and you're being neglected? You feel like you're being neglected. There's just too many things missing in the relationship to describe it any other way, except the fact that you've been and are being neglected. It can be emotionally, it can be physically, it can be both together, put together. And the neglect is ongoing. It doesn't relent. It gets worse, right down to the expressions on the person's face. They just seem to lose all interest. All interest goes as we get a radio check. Marine Rescue Central Coast, Marine Rescue Central Coast, Marine Rescue Central Coast, CC 130 procedural radio check at Gosford main boat ramp, over.
CC 130, this is Marine Rescue Central Coast, Marine Rescue Central Coast, receiving you loud and clear on channel 16, over.
Marine Rescue Central Coast, CC 130, logged on to mobile app and will follow mobile app procedures to conclusion. CC 130 out.
Marine Rescue Central Coast out.
And that's that. The watch. We're on and away we go. Let's go. Yes, you. And let me just say too, this negligence can be very, very vicious. Very vicious indeed. It starts off light, and then you'll find it leaks in, and you'll be asking yourself, you won't notice it at first. You might ask them to, can you grab some milk on your way over? And they forget, oh sorry, I forgot, I was thinking of something else. They could have been thinking of somebody else. You don't know with these covert, neglectful narcissists. Then they'll organise to ring you. And all of a sudden, there's no phone call. So you investigate, you ring up. Oh, sorry, I had other things on my mind. And you start to feel like a piece of furniture. I don't know if you've ever felt that feeling before, or you understand what that's like. But this is how the neglectful narcissist, covert narcissist, tries to train your mind into making you put in more effort. It causes a sense of panic and anxiety. Why is this person who was devoted, who started off so well, now starting to falter and neglect? And I will say to you, it's deliberate. It's the way this person is. There's nothing you can do about it. It's the way that they are. And you might send them a text. This is how they do it. It's so wicked, brilliantly wicked. You might send them a text and you're waiting for a reply. The day goes by. You see them on Facebook. They're on Facebook and whatnot. And you're wondering why they haven't texted you. The reason is because they're negligent. They don't have the value for the relationship to function in the relationship in a way in which identifies them to be functioning in a proper way, because they're negligent. You might be waiting for them to ring. Yeah, I'll ring you at 6 o'clock. I promise. The phone doesn't go at 6 o'clock, it doesn't go at 6:30, it doesn't go at all. They don't ring at all. That's a neglectful, covert narcissist working on your mind. You ring up. Why didn't you ring me? What's going on? Oh, and they'll come up with some ridiculous excuse. They're experts at it. You're not the first person. They've done it too. You won't be the last. This is the way these people are. They're negligent. But you'll find that they can be a workaholic. They'll get on with all the people at work and they never miss a beat at work because it has to do with money. Now these people will say money doesn't matter. This is how contradictory they are. You'll notice the neglectful covert narc will constantly contradict themselves about things and believe their contradictions. They'll say money's not important and things of this nature. Yet they spend most of their life running around trying to get money, working and things. And they have this tremendous idolization towards work, but they've got nothing usually to show for it. The narcissism forfeits that. You'll often find they're closet drinkers and functioning addicts on the devil's lettuce, marijuana. Their domestic life is the same as their relationship life. You'll find cockroaches in the kitchen. You'll find the washing up stacked up with the sink. Nobody wants to contribute. And this filters on down the line. And you start to get to the point where you're pulling your hair out. The frustration's so bad that internally you're screaming, but you're frozen like a zombie because you don't know how to get a resolve. You'll ask for more input and you'll get it for a day or two, and then they go back into their negligent state. You might need the car dropped off at the mechanics. Yes, and they'll say they'll get it there, it'll be on time, all the rest of it. you wait and wait and wait. Guess what? No, they're not going to be there on time. The car is not going to make it to the mechanics on time. And there's more stress and anxiety for you. It causes tremendous trauma. It has a way of making you over-devote yourself and work harder in the relationship while they're doing a minimal amount of effort. As I said, they've done this before you come along, and they'll do it after you're gone. They're minimalists. The neglectful narcissist is a minimalist. Less is more. They'll make people run around after them, but not reciprocate that by their output. And again, you'll become over-devoted trying to get the crumbs of this person's input into the relationship. They're just not functioning. They're not, things aren't working. In the relationship. And they'll begin now to breadcrumb you intimately. You're putting all the signals out. You're putting all the signs out, and like the typical narcissist, they start to neglect you intimately and emotionally. Before you know it, you're starting to look elsewhere for emotional input and sexual input as well. In the meantime, trying to fudge this person into functioning the correct way. The neglectful narcissist will drop away emotionally. They'll fall away physically, and you'll be almost cohabitating with a zombie. You begin to question yourself. You start to examine yourself, trying to find the problem, and this gives them a sense of superiority, and really it just enables the negligence more. They know how to find justification for their minimalism. You could organise to go on a date. We'll go to the pictures. The night will come, they'll ring you in the afternoon, right at the last minute, and say, oh, do you mind if we don't go? Can we just stay in? That's the neglectful narcissist. They've had no consideration whatsoever, and this will happen time and time again, for the lead up, the organising, and the looking forward to the event. That's what they do. That's how the neglectful narcissists work. You're listening to Reverend Dr. J.W. Morrison, theologist, at Gosford on the Central Coast, New South Wales, Australia, on our morning exercise paddle here at Brisbane Water. The neglectful narcissist will withhold finance. All of a sudden, the shopping money that you're given recedes. As a matter of fact, you don't know where the money's going at all. as we come down Bird Alley. A bit quiet this morning. Sun's not coming up yet. They usually get chirpy around sun up. We're running early this morning. Oh, there's a little bit of a squeak back there. And so now the bills aren't being paid, and strange spendings start coming up on the statements. And there's the tree, it's beautiful flowers. It's starting to really get going now. And that tree is the tree of restoration for the viewers. I want that tree, every time we go past it, as it blossoms more and more, for you viewers to realize that you can be restored and recover and be better. You'll find that the neglectful narcissist will have a I don't really care attitude. Their ego and grandiosity is run away from them, with them. They're almost now somebody you don't recognize. You can't even recognize this person anymore. You don't know who they are or what's going on. And this is Shark Alley, where you come past the bridges. You just get across here safely, hopefully. Yep. Yeah, it's like, okay, who is this person? And that's how narcissism works. It degenerates. Everything becomes less and less and less and less until you're at boiling point. And this can go on for years and years. And people accept it. Neglectful, covert narcissism. Then, all of a sudden, they're sleeping on the lounge. Or they go missing for days, looking for God. And while there's no emotional intimacy, you hear them talking to their friends at work all the time, solving problems and fixing things. Like, my goodness, why can't we have a conversation like that? And then you'll find underwear in the laundry that's got signs of sex on it. They're masturbating. They've turned onto themselves. They're so self-centered that you're sexually starved while they're happily masturbating. They become asexual, the neglectful narcissist. And this is how people end up in affairs. Oh, and once their partner's gotten to the point where they don't want to be with them anymore, or they've slipped into, by way of agony, desperation, a emotional affair, and then from there a physical affair, the neglectful narcissist soon comes to life then. But it's too late. They drive people into the ground. You're constantly trying to navigate them. You're constantly trying to get them to work in with you. These people are contrary. It's like they've got a contrary spirit. I call it, and you may never have heard this before, I call it, and I come up with this about 20 years ago. I got tired of these women that were just trying to have a relationship with them was like trying to have a relationship with a three-legged dog. So I come up with opposite directional dysfunction disorder. Opposite directional dysfunction disorder, because they were always going in the opposite direction. to what we were supposed to be going. If I was going to go north, they'd go east, west or south. And I'm tolerant, but as I've gotten older, I've learned to be able to recognize these flaws in people. Oh yeah. Opposite directional dysfunction disorder. The negligent narcissist. You've been listening to Reverend Dr. J.W. Morrison, theologist, on the Central Coast, New South Wales, Australia, Gosford actually, paddling the Brisbane water for exercise. Thank you for joining me, and I'll speak to you soon. If this has resonated with you, or you're suffering with this type of partner, the emotional abuse and physical abuse, and you're getting to the point where you want out, my advice for the remedy for this is mirror them and detach. Start to go through the process of separating emotionally and physically. Give back what's given out. And they won't be aware. That's what they want. The more silent you are and the more distant you are, the more happier they are, because it buys into what they're doing themselves. There's no responsibility for anyone. There's no accountability for anyone. We're all just negligent. And while the relationship goes down the tubes and the neglectful, covert narcissist thinks everything's all right, just how ignorant they are and how self-centered and arrogant they are, you can begin your journey to freedom without too much fuss, without too much pain. This is how terrible and complicated these things are. Horrible behavior, wicked behavior, and it comes from the sinful human nature. And it's more common than you think. These people will go so far as they'll sleep on the lounge here and there, then all of a sudden they're in a separate bed, and you're lying there and you're going, what on earth is happening here? You have to, basically, you'll end up leaving. That's when they get their awakening, but that's temporal as well. Once they feel like the situation has come back into order to meet their ends, they fall straight back into their negligent mindset. Thank you for joining me this morning. I hope this is related to somebody. I think really my only advice I can give you for the negligent narcissist is do them the favor of getting out of their way. Let them go and take their negligence to somebody else, and you find healing and restore yourself. They ain't going to change, so you either put up and shut up, or make arrangements to go through the walk away and all the pain that comes with that. The pain that comes with that might be a lot more easier than the negligence associated with these people that go into descent and degenerate. We've got the jelly blubbers out again this morning. They're giving Brisbane Water a run for their money, I can tell you that. Just try and show you a few. This is Reverend Dr. J.W. Morrison, theologist. Thank you for joining me. Like, share, subscribe, comment if you've had an experience with this. I'd say many of you have. And as always, I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.